Hello, welcome to Oxford Heirlooms. In this video, we're going to sew the insertion lace down near the bottom of the gown so that we can hem it in just a little bit. Now, what I have done preliminarily, I've used my lace shaping board, which is nothing fancy. It's just a piece of foam core board that I picked up at the Dollar Tree. And I have pinned the lace about every 1/2 an inch all the way along the lace insertion line. Okay, now I'm going to sew from this side because I need to sew on the line that I drew with my friction erasable pin first. And I like for my lace to be on the right side when I zigzag it on. So let me move my fancy lace insertion panel out of the way. Now what I have done is I looked up in my pattern directions. Let me find them real quickly. When I machine sewed the lace insertion on the sleeves, I set my zigzag length to a 1.5 because it was asking for a 1.8, and my machine has preset sizes and I can't do 1.8, so I picked the one that's exactly smaller, 1.5, and then it asked for a length of 1.2, but once again, my presets, my next smallest size was a 1.0. So my zigzag width is 1.5 and my zigzag length is 1.0. If your machine will do a 1.8 and a 1.2, that's great. But I don't have an extremely fancy or expensive machine, so I'm kind of limited. Okay, so I'm going to begin. Let me take that one pin out because it's a little too close to the edge. I'm going to begin zigzagging along the left-hand side of my insertion lace. Let me make sure I stay on that line. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to catch the right and left side of the header of the lace. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. This is a fairly narrow little zigzag. And it looks like the curve along the bottom of the dress is so very, very slight that I'm not going to have to pull at the header thread on the top of the insertion lace like I did on the sleeves, because it doesn't seem to be leaving any gaps. Okay, just take your pins out before they end up going underneath the presser foot, and just continue to zigzag that insertion lace to the dress. This is going to take me a while because I'm going just about a 1/2 inch at a time and then taking a pin out. So I will be right back. Okay, I've got the bottom edge zigzagged on. Now I'm going to bring the dress in this orientation, and I'm going to begin to zigzag the top of the insertion lace. And I checked it, and it does not need for me to pull the header thread because this curve is just ever so slight that it's not leaving gaps. Okay, so once again, I can go a little bit faster on this side because I'm just zigzagging on and I don't have pins to take out. So once again, I'm just catching both sides of the header of the lace with that narrow little zigzag. Get my tripod out of my way a little bit. And then when I finish the top, of the zigzagging the top of the lace, we will take care of these little ends that are hanging off the edge of the facing. So I'll be right back because I've got quite a bit of zigzagging to do. Okay, I've got that insertion lace all zigzagged on, and like with the sleeves, the pattern did not call for trimming the fabric away behind the lace, but that's okay. This fairy fabric is so thin that you can very easily see the lace detail without trimming the fabric away. Okay, now I have finished off one end by folding it under and folding it across to the back and tacking that into place. So I have ironed or pressed and so the other side, so I'm going to tack that into place with a needle and thread. Let me get that even on the facing. Okay, let me get that little edge tucked up under there. Okay, so I've got my needle and thread, and I will simply tack this into place with some little whip stitches. I'm going to start out here at the corner and then work my way to the edge of the facing, which is some tiny little stitches. And then once I get to the edge of the facing, I'll anchor that into place and then come back down the edge of the lace and turn the corner sew up the folded edge of the lace. Just use some tiny little stitches to tack it into place. Then I'll turn the next corner and I'll work my way to the facing and then come back to the corner again and tie my thread off. Tack that into place and then come back down to the corner. And then I'll tie a knot and clip my thread off. Okay, so that gets the insertion lace sewn onto the bottom of the dress. In the next video, I've got some hand embroidery at the front center of the gown. My pattern instructions has an embroidery design for the front hem, so I'll work on that next. But in this video, we were sewing the insertion lace along the bottom edge of the dress. Thank you.